Yo, what's happening, my good people? Today is another day that we gonna talk about some real estate. Y'all know how I do. Y'all know how I get it done, and we try to make sure that we are here focusing on what matters, which is the money that's on the land, which is the land. Amen. So now I was kidding. Um, I am your host, Darian Cole, the realtor. You trust really realtor. You're preaching realtor. I don't got a lot of words about who I am, but I'm here just preparing for another night of just some great knowledge that's about to drop on us. I know I've been talking about investing for many, many years. Those that know me know I've been talking about, investing here, investing there. Let's bring our people together. Let's work a deal together and we split the monies later. Y'all know me. I'm always spilling some beans on some investing real estate. But I brought on and is able to find some really good brothers that are going to share their knowledge of investing because they both are well accomplished and doing some investment deals in real estate all over the country. So, I have to give them I have to thank them before I bring them on. Just saying thank them, just for being able to share the love, share their knowledge, share their mindset of what it takes to be a realtor, I'm sorry, that's me, what it takes to be an investor, and just kind of get into it. So I'm going to just introduce them. I got my brother Gene Boykin Jr. He's an investor that took control of the outcome of his life and business by becoming the bank. We learned that last time. BYOB, be your own bank. And he went from doing 3 fix and flips in 3 years, the traditional way, to acquiring 4 properties and doing 5 transactions in 90 days without needing a lump sum of money or borrowing money from the bank. Okay, since then he founded the GoGetter family. Somebody say GoGetter family. Okay, that's the church to me. Don't worry about it. The GoGetter family to help people who were just like him to become real estate investors. He is out to dispel the myth that you need money to make money because he is living proof that you don't. That is real. All right. And my next brother, I've had conversations with him. My family has had conversations with him. Johnny Lynum. He is an active duty United States Air Force Lieutenant Colonel. That sounds important, don't it? He's a seasoned real estate investor. He's an entrepreneur, and he's a coach. Johnny started his real estate investing career in 2006. That was a great year for him, I'm sure. And his extensive experience in project management, operations, marketing, and negotiations. He started actively buying and renovating homes in 2015. Since then, he has purchased and sold dozens of single-family properties and 1 apartment across 4 different markets. Currently, he has a real estate portfolio value at over 4.7 million. Okay. Johnny holds an MBA from TUI University, a bachelor's degree in electric engineering from the University of Alabama. Oh, my brother's in Alabama. Maybe not the same school Alabama, but he's in Alabama. So, and financial planning and services certification from Northwestern University. Okay, he just showing off now. Johnny's he wrote a book. Okay, he wrote a book. Actually, I think he wrote 2 books, if I'm not mistaken now. But the book that he told me about first was his first book was the Millionaire Real Estate Success Strategies: What They Forgot to Teach You in School, and that was published last year in December. So make sure y'all support my brother and y'all get his book. So, ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, I know y'all got tons of questions. I've been getting a lot of heat about who these guys I'm bringing on. Yeah, so y'all ask all the questions y'all want and pick their brain. It's not too many people that do things for free. I'm just being real. So at least you get some good free knowledge that can help you out and hopefully be able to join them in the near future. All right. So, brothers, I'm going to have you all to speak a little bit more about yourselves. And here you go, Brother Gene. How you doing?
I'm good, man. I'm good. How you doing?
Brother Johnny, how you doing?
Doing good, man. Blessed to be here.
I hope my introduction was worthy, because y'all got some big hitters on here. So, I got to make sure my introductions are, dynamic.
Man, I was trying to think. I was like, did I write that? Because that thing sounded good.
Oh, man. Well, I appreciate you guys for coming on and just being able to, share some love about, you guys being investors, and the funny thing about it, guys, those that's watching, I reached out to these guys separately. And when they found out they was on the show together, they was like, oh, I know this guy. I was like, oh, well, this going to be an easy process. What you guys do? Y'all do a show every Saturday, right? Or something like that?
Yeah. On Instagram, we do it live, man. Yeah. Yeah.
See, so it's gonna be a natural show today, that's for sure. so brother Jenny, I start with you. Tell if whatever I didn't say, tell us more about yourself and why you got in this game from your mouth.
Yeah, man, you summed it up. You summed it up pretty well. What you said. You made me sound pretty good. You did your research. Now I respect that because that's what we do in real estate. This is what I tell people, right, y'all? So just here goes a gem right here. We don't buy houses. We buy problems. We buy problems. If we can be a solution to that problem, we get paid very well and we get a house as icing on the cake. And once I realized that was the secret to success in real estate investing, it wasn't the old secret, right, of needing a lump sum of money or having to have great credit. This is the new way to do real estate. Once I realized that, man, it has taken off. It has taken off for me, but I put in that work, I put in that work and I genuinely want to help people. I genuinely want to help a person. And that is what will make you successful is these 2 millimeter shifts that we can make, right? And one of them is when we're going into a situation, instead of thinking to ourselves, how much money can I make, right? Instead, we need to think, how can I help this person? How can I bring a solution to this person? And then by being able to do that, by being able to bring a solution, helping them achieve their goals, we're going to get what we set out to get. So that's really, man, my philosophy in life. And once I understood that, it's been easy, honestly. Even the hard parts, though. I'm not saying there's no hard parts, but the hard parts are easy because I, understand that those hard parts are given to us as gifts to sharpen us up so that we can receive that next gift. And I just had to come to that understanding in my soul, man, not just saying it, in my spirit and my soul. And once I could do that, I wanted to pass that to other people, especially with the strategy that I use. It's like, man, why have I never heard of this? Had my parents had access to this, things might have been a little bit different. Not that I wanted them to be. They was rough, but that's why I am who I am. That's why I'm the founder of the GoGetter family. I had to be, right? But they still didn't have access. So I'm like, man, I've got to get my people access to this information, so that's kind of the bare bones, man. I'm giving it to you raw right now because I liked your intro. I'm like, man, this is gonna be a soulful show, so let me go ahead and
man, we've been on fire for the last couple of shows, so I'm trying to keep it rolling, man.
You're doing your thing, that's for sure.
Brother John, I appreciate it. Brother Johnny, man.
Yeah, man.
We already had our conversation, but
yeah.
Tell people more about yourself and why you do what you do.
Yeah, most definitely, man. Thank you for the introduction. For me, what wasn't included in there, married to my beautiful wife, Melissa, 3 kids. That's the reason I do what I do. My family, my sister, my dad, nieces, nephews. And, and that's the thing for me is just the family and the time freedom that comes from owning real estate and creating passive income and creating generational wealth. It's just the time freedom, man, that you can do whatever it is that you want to do, whether it's, you want to serve in the service and, and give back that way to your country, or if you want to donate your time to a nonprofit, or if you want to just vacation, see the world with your family and take your kids to see all these places they're learning about in school and actually go there in person. That's what passive income allows you to do. And for me, real estate was the vehicle that I leveraged, after researching, just seeing everything that, the millionaires that were made over the last 2 centuries, with the majority of them being made through real estate. It was kind of a no-brainer, just like, hey, dig in, figure out the rules to the game. And once understanding the rules and how to execute and move in the space, it was like, okay, game on. It's like, okay, this is what we're going to do. And for me, it was just, just a continuous process. And like Gene said, man, just putting in the work. And, if you're coming from a place of a position of value that you're trying to add to people, and, and understanding that with every house is a situation or a challenge that we have to solve. And when we come in with the limitless mindset, then, you can't do anything but win when you're adding value to other people's life and helping them out of sticky situations that just so happen to involve a house.
Cool. And that's why I wanted to invite you guys, because I know y'all would be raw. Y'all will let people know the truth about things, because I've had people that they make it sound like butter. It's easy, and you had no issues. One thing, when I was getting my license, it was like, you'll never have an easy transaction. That's just the truth. Especially now that I'm actually living that life, I understand what that means. So let's get into it. So I want to ask y'all a question. And we those that's watching, I know how I roll. Y'all got questions y'all want to ask, go ahead and put it in the comment section, and I'll try to slip it in as quick as I can. But the question I want to start off with you guys, because there are a lot of folks that want to do what you do, okay? Mm-hmm. But they as businessmen, that of all of us knowing how to form a business, people don't know how to properly structure their company. What do I get, an LLC? Do I get an S corp? Do I get a C corp? How did I get? How did I even build my team? Like, where did I get my team from? So what structure did you guys build your business, and how did you find the right people to connect with to actually at least start off doing well? Because I know, we all at some point, when we're rookies at something, we get nervous. You got to talk to people. You got to call people. You got to ask questions, especially you, that type of person that is not that, outward of talking to people, being around people and networking with people. So tell me about you guys, mindset when it comes to, all right, this is what I want to do. Now, this is how I'm going to do it. Anybody can jump in.
Go ahead, Johnny. Because I just called you. We talked about a week and a half ago. I needed your advice. You had to sharpen me up. Remember, I gave you the trust paperwork about a week before. So go ahead, man.
Yeah, man. I think the biggest piece is, my first rental property I bought in my personal name. After that, I started flipping in LLCs, but that's all kind of behind the scenes detail. I tell people, you got to take action. The biggest thing is getting in the game, getting in, not looking at the scoreboard or who's got what, how many doors they got, how much money passive they got coming in. Because guess what? If you're watching all that, then you're not in the game. You're not out there performing and actually in the arena. And so that's the thing. I think you need an LLC if you're going to use a hard money lender to buy a property, to leverage a commercial loan. But you don't have to start off. Your first house that you probably should buy should be your primary residence. Using an FHA loan, 3.5% down, or a conventional product, 5% down, or if you're a veteran, 100% LTV, no money down. That's the first thing I think people need to understand is leverage your assets. For me, I got started. My first 4 houses I bought were all, with the VA loan, just moving around PCS and then just buying foreclosures, using what I had before I had to save up money. And just so and I think that's the thing. People need to look at their resources around them and understand what they need to do, where they are today, and how to position themselves to leverage the skills and the access they have today. And if you don't have none of that, then you're gonna have to become the bank and go in there and actually start looking at, hey, how can I assume some of these mortgages? People in pre-foreclosure and things like that, to be creative, and which Gene just takes it to a whole nother level with that, with just going in with that mindset on how you can create money out of thin air in order to buy a house. So
wait a minute. I could get a house out of thin air, is what you saying? Is that what you said?
Yeah. Brother, not out of thin air, but you don't have to put no money out. You don't have to take any money out your pocket.
Okay. Brother Jerry, go ahead.
You gotta take that air from in between your ears and make it work for you. That's what's gonna do it, man. I'm telling you now. I just put up on my IG, my 19-year-old student in Memphis, Tennessee, just got his first house under contract, and he's not spending a penny on that thing. I mean, he didn't have to put down an EMD, which is an earnest money deposit for those that don't know, for a real estate transaction, right? Because he's solving a problem. They don't care about no EMD. They want this problem solved, right? So the house, he's taking over the mortgage on it. So we just got to continue to make those mortgage payments, but we do this based off of our knowledge. And like Johnny said, though, this is a whole thing. You can't hit a home run if you don't swing the bat, so you got to get in the game. There's never a right time. There just isn't, right? People are like, well, I'm gonna wait for the right time. I've got, this coming up. I'm gonna go ahead and pay my car off. Then I'll have a couple extra dollars to put on the, such and so and so. It never works out like that, though, if you think back, right? Because there's so many right times that we were waiting for that we just never, took our warm-ups off, man, and broke a sweat. So you just gotta go. Now, this is my thing too, because I mean, God has saved me. I mean, that's just for certain, right? God has saved me and given me peace of mind. And that's all I ever wanted in life was peace of mind, right? But it's like this, because fear is a made-up thought in our mind. We have made this up, y'all. We've got to understand this, because fear, it's like we're fortune tellers for ourselves, right? Of all the bad things that might happen. If I miss this step, it's going to be terrible. If I do this thing wrong, man, everything's going to fall apart. But we haven't done that yet. We haven't even done it. So we're sitting here, making stuff up, and we don't even know. So it's a choice, though, because I choose faith every time, every single time. And I don't do that because I'm egotistical, saying, oh, yeah, I'm just good. It's just going to work out. No, absolutely not. I choose faith because I know what my commitment level is. I know the sacrifices that I have made in order to make sure that everything's going to work out. I know the work that I put in. So I just know, even if things don't go as planned, like Darian said in the beginning, like, these real estate transactions, like they told you, man, these things are not easy. So people want it to be a straight line from, okay, this is what I want, right? I want this to happen. So I just got to go that way. And then it's going to happen. And then when there's some curvature in that thing, people kind of like, oh no, man, I better not, I'm just going to go ahead and sit back down. Expect the curves, right? And embrace those curves, knowing that when those curves come up, and now we got to handle it. We've got to handle this curve because we've got a destination to get to. So when the road curves, now I know how to handle that wheel next time that curve comes up. That's all it's doing, is teaching me how to handle that curve. So an obstacle, it's the same thing. When an obstacle comes up, it's just teaching me. Next time that this obstacle comes up, or something similar to this obstacle, well, guess what? I just dealt with that last month. So now I'm going to be 2 times better at dealing with this obstacle, as opposed to saying, oh man, here it goes again. Something came up again. That's always happening to me. Or it was easy for so-and-so when they was doing it. Why is this hard for me? You got to change your mindset and embrace those obstacles. And then those obstacles, man, they will give birth. They will give birth, man. When you accept them and know that they're going to make you better, they give birth to greatness inside of you that you didn't even know you had. Man, I came up, man, I did a lot with obstacles. The universe, man, and God it materializes in front of you. The thing that you need, the moment that you need it, it materializes in front of you when you walk in that faith, knowing that you put in the work, commitment, to sacrifice. So it comes, the universe and God, man, gives it to you. Really. So the number one thing is mindset. It is mindset. Once we have that under control, the results, fall into place. The results fall into place because we have an undefeated mind. And that was my whole thing too, man. Because I went from last year. I'm just real quick, man. I know my
No, quit.
You need to cool out. I'm trying, but
go ahead.
But man, I was in the bottom 80% of income earners last year. The bottom 80%, right, of income earners, a wage earner, man, selling my time. And I got my first house by taking over the debt by becoming the bank in April of 2021. So since that time, man, and really a couple months ago, I got to that level. I'm now in the top 1% of income earners. I own 6 houses that I own, cash flow houses, and have done 7 transactions. And that is in less than a year. So it's possible. But prior to that, I never thought anything like this was possible. So I had to change my mind.
How many times did you guys quit?
I ain't never quit.
Not on this journey. Not on this.
I asked that because a lot of people, I talk to investors all the time, and they was like, I quit 1,000 times in my mind, but my body just wouldn't let me. My spirit wouldn't let me, because it's worth it at the end. But, this show is about the mindset of an investor because people, they think they get in the game and it's easy and that, everything is given to you, and you don't have to do or put in no work. And I tell people, I try to explain it as much as I can, especially to the younger generation that thinking, they grow up not really working hard for much, and everything, especially a lot of the babies, they really believe that when they live their life, everything they want is going to be given to them. And a lot of them want to do real estate. A lot of them want to be, realtors or want to be investors, and I try to really speak some game to them. Like, it took me 5 times to get my license as a realtor. And my grandmother can be a witness to it. On my 3rd try, I said, well, maybe, this ain't it for me. Maybe this not what I'm supposed to do. Maybe this is not built for me, But then, God just kept talking to me like, yo, you going to believe yourself or you going to believe what I say? And that's where, everybody has their own faith as far as how they believe and what they think in their process of moving forward. But, being in this real estate business or being in any real estate business, you have to have some grit. You have to be strong and powerful in ways that you never thought you could be. So, I asked, when I asked that question to you guys, like, when did y'all ever quit? Not saying physically or, but mentally you're drained. Mentally, you was like, all right, I got too much going on because there may be somebody out here that are on the verge of quitting, maybe on the verge of like, this ain't it, maybe on the verge of saying, like, I can't complete this deal. So what would you say to that person that is like, man, this is tough. I spent a lot of money already. I got bills, I got children, that needs to eat and needs food. What do y'all guys say to that?
Man,
I like to get deep on here. I'm sorry.
Yeah, no, I love it because I'm deep now. I know Johnny know that because Johnny's deep too, man. I love it. I love the contrast too. Like you're a realtor. Johnny does some traditional and a little bit of everything, man. Magic, man. The man's a magician, and then I become the bank. So I love it when we get deep. But this is what I would say personally, right? Is one, when these things come up and they happen and they just come up and you're like, man, I have done everything. I have given my all to accomplish what I wanted to accomplish. And it just seems like it's just not going to happen. I can't catch a break, man, because trust me, I've been there, I was just there, man, 1 month and a half or so ago. Johnny knows because I told him, man, this was on a different venture because I risk everything on myself. And this is the thing. We are taking more of a risk if we won't take a risk. Listen, I'm going to say it again. We take more of a risk if we refuse to take a risk. I'm telling you, that one stream of income, your job, a COVID situation happens, man, you don't know. And we all have enough talent inside of us, to be able to provide for ourselves, because this is the new economy. This is the new way to get wealthy, this knowledge. So when instead of that moment, right? I always say it like this, right? When you got a brand new pair of jeans on and you walk outside and you trip and fall, man, and you landed in some mud and your brand new jeans. And you like, man, I just got these. Why again? This happened again. Damn, you like, man, it won't stop. Nope. If you can make this 2 millimeter shift right here, this is 2 millimeter shift, this will change your entire life. When you fall in those brand new jeans and trip and fall into that mud, when you get up, if you can make your first thought, what do I need to do to get this mud off my jeans? You can change your entire life. Your entire life. If that is your first thought, anytime an obstacle comes up, if that's your first thought, and then it becomes natural. What do I need to do to get this mud off my jeans? What do I need to do to close this transaction? Not, oh, here go the title company saying it's another lien on here, man. Golly, that's the third one. No, what do I need to do to get this one off? That's your first question. Your whole nature changes. Your whole nature, your whole spirit. So these things don't happen to us to punish us or for a bad reason or to make us fail. They happen to us to make us better, because those situations that you just described, Darian, I mean, that you literally just described, man. I was just telling somebody earlier how something like that happened to me. And it was like a $3,000 water bill on a house that I just bought. I didn't incur that bill. It was when I was acquiring it. Well, I got to learn something new and beat the city water company, didn't have to pay that bill, and then learned a new way that I could do a transaction and get control of a house, own nothing, control everything. And that is what that obstacle did for me. And these people was trying to, man, they kept, Johnny knows we was talking during that. I was like, man, these people keep playing with me. They keep playing with me, but they don't know who they're dealing with. And that was my mind frame though. Like, okay, you said I can't do this. Well, what do I need to do to be able to do that? Right? That's it. That's all I ask myself. I'd never say, why me, man? Why is this so hard? And when you can do that, you can beat anything. The kryptonite for obstacles is persistence. The kryptonite for obstacles is persistence. If you keep getting back up, the obstacle's like, man, this dude will not stay down. Then they fold. That's what did it for me, man.
Brother Johnny, a lot of testimonies tonight.
Yeah, I know, man. But that's the thing. And I think people need to realize that life is going to happen. Whether you're trying to do what it is that you put on this earth to do, or if you're just going through life doing something else, life is going to happen to you either way. So you might as well be doing something that you want to do and that you're passionate about and trying to live your dreams. And, because that's the thing, life's going to happen, whether you're a real estate investor looking to do one deal a year or you're trying to do 100 deals a year, you're going to have issues. I'm going through issues right now with a property that I got that we put it on the market it was like 17 August. And we still hadn't sold it yet. We had 4 contracts on this one house. We done went from a FHA buyer falling out at day 40 on the deal, put it back on the market. Less than a week later, go back under contract. Guy had a VA loan, older gentleman, decided about 3 weeks in, he didn't want a house anymore. His kids didn't like the area, so I was told. Then like a week later, after we put it back on the market again, he came back saying, yeah, he thought about it. He wanted to come back in. But he wanted to come in and renegotiate all over again from that instead of the price the list price, which of course we said no. Mm-hmm. And then, at the beginning of December, we went under contract again. And now, had an FHA appraisal back in September. Now we're going into January and the lender's telling the guy, yeah, it may be best that we just wait for that appraisal to expire. Then we do another one. And by the way, it's going to take another 3-4 weeks for another appraisal to come back. And I'm like, really? And on the backdrop, we had the same thing happen on another property, so kind of that going on simultaneously. You got 3 houses in renovation. You got 3 houses on the market, and, you're paying your guys every week. And so you have to manage your business, manage the cash flow, and it gets stressful. But you got to know, being a business owner, what you're signing up for. As a real estate investor, you got to know what you're signing up for. When you go in and you see your family and you see them go, you're tucking your kids in at night, you got to know what you're doing it for. And when you hit those tough roles, those situations, that's when you got to lean on your network. Because guess what? Your network is your network. And if you're around people that's not trying to do nothing, I'm looking at, if you got 5 friends that are not trying to do nothing, I'm looking at another person who's not trying to do nothing. Because guess what? We are where we are right now in life based on the decisions we made yesterday and the days before. And to go to another level that you haven't been yet, you're going to have to do some stuff that you hadn't done yet. And guess what? It's going to probably require you to meet people that you haven't met yet in order to get there. So expanding your circle, expanding your network. So when you hit those tough times, you got somebody to lean on. You're in a network of millionaire real estate investors where you can call up and say, hey, man, I'm going through this, and it's like, oh, yeah, we did that 5 years ago, man. This is what you need to do. Mm-hmm. Or, hey, Gene, I got this guy with this situation, man, with a pre-foreclosure sale. What I need to do in order to take this over Subjectto and get this deal done. And, and that's the thing, whereas that you got to surround yourself. Because guess what? Your best friends, your friends, they may not be real estate investors. Your family may not be in the real estate. So you can't talk to them. They may not have an entrepreneurial mindset. And so that's the thing where the Bible says iron sharpens iron. You got to get around some iron if you want to be sharp. Because guess what? If you ain't got no iron around you, when you get in battle and you ain't been sharpened up and ready to go, you might not come home. You be out there, them challenges start hitting your back of the head, and you can't fight back. it's gonna be a long day.
I've been in church my whole life. That's the first time I heard it like that. If you want to be sharp, you better be somebody.
Johnny cold now. Johnny cold now. You said something about the Last Supper one time, man. I got goosebumps. I was like, what?
Hey, all right, let me ask y'all this. Okay, so get into the logistics of things because people came here to learn, and I want to make sure they leave with some heavy knowledge of how to get going, like point blank. So you know, I've always heard that your first deal is always your hardest deal because you are learning. You're learning, you're trying to figure everything out. You don't want to do nothing wrong. So questions that I know I've gotten before, as far as you know, those that were interested in investing, is like, should they, how should they seek their finance? You know, do they, you know, seek the, you know, regular old finance through the bank, you know, or should they invest their own money from their savings or from, you know, retirement or whatever and put it into the property? You know, even though they both have pros and cons, we, you know, anything dealing with money got pros and cons. We're just gonna get that out the way. But what are you guys' mindset when it comes to, you know, how to plan to get financing for your first property? Because a lot of people we know don't have the money. A lot of people we know are trying to get the money. A lot of people we know we are, you know, getting paid, but you know, they don't have control of how they can actually push it into, you know, this type of business. So how can they get started, you know, looking at a financial lens?
Hey, I'm gonna go ahead and go, man. You know, because
get it.
Yeah, you know me, Johnny, now, but Johnny knows the game too. Because well, I'm gonna say this real quick. So, me and Johnny, man, he lives in DC. I'm sorry, Northern Virginia, DC area, DMV, right? And then I live in Darian too, man. I like you, Darian too, man. You know what you talking about. Y'all better Darian know what he talking about. So, I live in Iowa. You know, I'm in Iowa. Most of the people watching probably like, man, where is that even at? Like, is that a place? But it is. I'm out here. So I get a call though from another colleague, man, that I, you know, because it's about relationships. Like Johnny says, man, your network equals your net worth. You got to position yourself to be, you know, around opportunities. You're not going to get opportunities sitting on the couch playing Madden because there is no such thing as luck. Have you positioned yourself to be in the vicinity of an opportunity? That's when you get lucky, but you're going to put in the work to get there, right? So anyway, the guy calls me and he says, Gene, you know, he called me, man, the king of Subjectto. That's a transaction I'm gonna tell y'all about. I'm gonna give y'all some games. So he calls me though. Johnny, yeah. So he calls me though, and he says, Gene, man, there's this wholesaler in St. Louis that has a deal, and it's almost about a year in, and he's about to lose the deal, and it looks like a Subjectto. A Subjectto, we can take over the debt, right? And Subjectto is kind of like this, right? I love this, man. I do, because we become the bank. You don't need a lump sum of money out of your own pocket. You don't have to go to a bank in your Sunday's best, with your hat in your hand, hoping that they're going to finance your dream of being a real estate investor or your dream of financial freedom. You don't do that. We become the bank, y'all. And I know it sounds crazy because it sounded crazy to me when I first heard it, but here I am. So Subjectto is kind of like this, though. Just say you go into Walmart, right? And you find something you like there. You find something you like at Walmart, costs $20. Well, you just walk up on the manager at Walmart and you say, hey, I'm gonna I like this, you know, I'm gonna take it, I'm gonna go ahead and leave, and then I'm gonna come pay you back in a month. They don't even need to give you no gruff. They're just like, okay, we'll see you in a month. You leave, you gone. And then you're over at your friend's house just hanging out. Your friend sees that item and they like, man, I like that. I'll give you $40 for that. And so you're thinking in your mind, well, listen, I'm only paying $20 for this, and I haven't even paid anything out of my pocket yet. So yeah, I'll give it to you for $40. So now your friend just gave you the $40. So you take 20 out of that, and you go back to Walmart. You give Walmart their $20, and guess what? Now you got a $20 bill. That's what Subjectto is. That is what Subjectto is. We take over an existing mortgage, and we don't have to go qualify for that. We don't have to fill out a credit application, no W-2s, proof of funds, don't need a realtor, you don't need an inspector, appraiser, none of that. And we own the house too on the Subjectto. You get the deed in your name. That you just got to know some technical things. That's the problem. You know, somebody illuminated me yesterday when we were talking to some ladies who were getting some wholesale training, needed some help. And he said, man, Gene was talking and it was like kind of going over my head. And he said, and that was the moment that I realized they're like, you know, Gene knows what the heck he's talking about. But my problem is I don't know these rules. See, when you know the rules, you can play the game. It's just it. And when they create an industry, you know, there's rules created for the wealthy, the elite, then there's rules created for us, the regular people, man. So our rules are more restrictive. You know, you got to ask so-and-so and such for permission. Then you better not try to take out a credit card application, you know, or switch your job in the last 2 years, you know, or you're not going to be able to do that. But the rules for these ones up here, they just get to maneuver. They don't got to ask nobody for nothing. You just make sure you cross the right T and you dot the right I, and you off to the races. So I found these rules, and when I found them, I knew in my heart and my soul that these were the ones. I said, so I'm about to be at the same starting line as the wealthy and the elite. And I'll tell you this, anytime I'm at the same starting line as the wealthy and the elite, I'm going to win that race every single time. I'm just going to win it. So that's how it was for me, man. I found these rules and I dove in, I nerded out. That's the only difference with us on this show that are in this, doing it and doing it well, is that when we find something, man, we nerd out on it and find out and figure it out, whether it takes 5 times to pass that realtor's exam, you know, or it takes me, you know, doing these 3 flips in 3 years to learn that ain't for me. But when I find the next thing, I'm going. So the guy calls me, the wholesaler, man, he thought it was going to be an easy transaction in St. Louis. He's like, man, I saw the sign. I called him. He said, yes, I'm about to make 10,000 real quick. This is nothing. I don't even need any money or anything. But then that straight line, he thought, it started to get curvy. Man, things were popping up. So, but his problem was this, he didn't have a network, right? So his net worth almost decreased instead of going up, but he bumped into me and Johnny. So that thing is going, it's on the way up. So he didn't have a network, but then he only had one strategy. So you're boxed into a corner. If you only have one tool, then there's only one thing you can do. You know, there's only one way you can solve this problem. So that was his problem. So when these things started to pop up, he really was like, man, I don't know what I can do, you know, but he was a good person. He was a hard worker. So he had done the work, you know, prior to, so that's what kept him afloat, was that. And that was, see, these are these moments that we're talking about, right? That you brought up, Darian, because this guy could have quit at this point when he thought it was going to be easy. And it's a year later, but he didn't. He's like, man, I'm going to do this. I'm going to do this. Like, I'm just going to do it. And he just reached out to the guy in St. Louis. The guy got in touch with me. As soon as I heard about it, I talked to him, you know, because this was a colleague of mine. So I said, Rufus, man, if he's your friend, then he's mine. I'll call him. Called him, found out what was up. I told him, I was like, hey, man, we can do this thing subject to. We don't even need any money, right? Send me some pictures of the house. Now, I don't do fix and flips. I just buy as is and sell as is. You know, that's just for, you know, my tactical and strategic reasons. So I see the house and I'm like, man, this thing needs some work, boy. Woo. Now, I could have got it for free, but it was going to be hard to sell it. So, and I know this, right, just from my experience. But I said, you know what? I know a guy. I know a guy that does just this thing. Man, I think I shot Johnny a text first, because Johnny does virtual fix and flips. I shot him a text, and see, based off of who I am and based off of who Johnny is, right, and who he has shown himself to be, because a person will tell you anything and they'll show you everything, right? So Johnny has shown me who he is. He hasn't told me, he's shown me. And I've shown Johnny who I am. I haven't told him, I've shown him. So when I shot him that message, he knew right away that it was serious. This wasn't no, you know, I said, Johnny, man, we got this house in St. Louis. I think it might be a good Subjectto deal where it's not going to cost you anything for your acquisition. So you can use your money that you got just to, you know, to go into the fix. It's not going to cost you nothing to own it. And all right, shoot me the information. Send it to him, man. So the guy, it took him almost a year. Me and Johnny got a hold of it. Johnny does what he does. I didn't want, you know, I'm like, hey, this is what it is, but I don't do fix and flips. And it's, you know, 500 miles away. Man, a week later, Johnny had that thing on the contract. Best part was Johnny got 2 houses, y'all. 2. I don't even know how many states away Missouri is from Virginia, but he only paid $1,000, man, for them 2 houses. Now I'm not trying to put your business in the streets.
That man, it's a fire on you. That's a
Yep.
Yeah. So, you know, but we were able to solve that problem, man, off of who we know, right, and then what we know. As soon as we heard the problem, I had the solution, because that's just the way I think, and then the knowledge that I have, and then based off of my network, I was able to call Johnny because I know who Johnny is. So I know that when Johnny said, okay, yeah, Gene, I'm going to do this, I could sleep at night knowing that Johnny said he was going to do it. So my word's not going to get tarnished. When I tell these people over here, hey, my colleague in Northern Virginia is going to do this, he'll get in touch with you, you're good. I can go on about my day because I know that Johnny's word is worth more than money. worth more than silver and gold, man. Says that in the Bible. Our name worth more than silver and gold. From there, Johnny did his thing, you know. Johnny did his thing. So
Yeah,
my
man.
whole thing is you can do the financing, guys, by understanding the secret is not to have a lump sum of money or to have good credit. You don't need that. But if that's at the front of your mind, that will be the impediment. So there are ways subject to creative financing. The method that I came up with, the wholesale and hold method, where, man, I'm buying the houses, taking over the debt, or if they own it outright, I'm turning the seller into the bank. On my exit strategy, I use my buyer's money to pay back the back payments or to pay my seller a little bit of money. And I'm in the middle and I still own the house. Make some money, make monthly passive income. Then 5 years down the road, when they exercise the option, I'll make another good little chunk of money. And I haven't even done nothing but use my knowledge. And then my ability to communicate and my ability to get the job done, to solve problems. So just keep pushing. It's out there, y'all. Them limiting beliefs.
Brother Johnny.
Yeah, no, that, you know, and that's the thing. And even when, you know, that St. Louis deal, he handed over to me. The first thing I did was call a guy in my network that's in one of my mastermind groups. That's a property management. Probably he has a property management company in St. Louis. So I got him to go walk the property for me, give me the video, give me the renovation budget, all that. And so we locked it up under contract, and it was a done deal after that. But that's the thing, just having that network where I can pick up the phone, call somebody reliable that I know can get the deal done. And, you know, now with that, I'm just going to raise 40 grand to do the renovation, put the money into it, refinance it, and then just keep it on term as a rental and, you know, and just add it to the portfolio. And, you know, I think that's the thing where you get the knowledge and just being able to leverage the network to be in the room with the right people. Whereas that now you're limitless. You don't have any limits when it comes to what you can do besides what you have right here. And I think that's the thing that, like we talked about, faith is a decision, but, you know, disbelief in yourself is a decision too. And that's the thing that holds back a lot of people is they focus on what they don't want in their lives. They focus on what could happen and what could go wrong. And so that prevents them from actually taking the risk and actually what they do want to happen, what they do want to go right, actually happening for them in their life. But they get so paralyzed by the fear that they can't move forward and take action with it. And so I think that's the thing with the disbelief in themselves, you know, with the, you know, limiting beliefs they've had and picked up along the years, whether it was from family members, broken relationships, or whatever it may be. That people told you were stupid, you were smart, you were never going to be nothing, you were going to be just like your parents, or whatever the limiting beliefs that people pushed on you that you've adopted. And that's the thing now, whereas that that's one of the first things in my coaching program that I tell people. I focus a whole week on mindset and just going through and focusing on the law of attraction and helping people understand they need to get rid of all that baggage and everything that they're doing. And then if they're serious about taking action, and everything they told me in the onboarding interview on what they wanted out of real estate and why they wanted it so bad, that if that really is the priority, then all this other stuff of what people talking about, you know, gossiping about you, what they told you couldn't do and all that, who cares? That's out the door. You got to focus in and on number one and what it is that you want, and just be able to take you to where you are in that future reality. And that's the thing, whereas that, you know, with everything that we do, we're talking with people, it's all about the transformation to get somebody from where they are today on the other side of the screen and where they want to be 5 years from now in the future. And then it's just now giving them the tools in order to make that transformation and to close that transformation gap to get them to who they want to be.
Mm-hmm.
Y'all saying some stuff today. Let me see, because I got a couple more questions for y'all.
I like when they do that, y'all.
So as being a real estate investor, okay. All right, let's say year just started. Okay, year just started. Actually, this is a perfect time of the year to talk about this. Mm-hmm. Do you guys have a strategy of how you want to get your new financial goal for this year? You know, like, do you say, all right, I'm attacking 5 to 20 houses this year? You know, just whatever. Mm-hmm. I know as a realtor, because, you know, we, in our mindset, we get money taken away from us in some way. So we gotta have a high standard to you know, sell or help someone purchase a number of homes to feel good about ourselves. But I know from an investor point of view, you know, you guys' money is most of the time all y'all. Yeah, I ain't sharing unless you got to pay somebody that helped you get to where you wanted to be, that will grow over time. So coming into the new year, for those that are listening, that I know that's watching right now, that I've talked to about it personally, what strategy do you guys have that you can share, that you put on the table, say, all right, this is how much I want to make this year, or how much I want to invest in, and know that it's going to give me this much later on. This is my financial goal. How do you guys determine that?
I mean, this is what I do, man, because this is the thing, like Johnny was saying, we let our own limiting beliefs. Now that is our own worst enemy, our own limiting beliefs. And please, y'all, like I'm asking y'all, when sometimes when people talk about like this mindset stuff, some people are like, man, I'm not doing that. That don't even sound, whatever. Like that's crazy. I'll tell you that the people that are saying that type of stuff, one, they got some things they've got to work out. They just do, right? And two, they're not where they want to be. Because they're holding themselves back. When we can get our mind in the place that it needs to be, we have to protect against these things. So this is what I do with the 7 steps to becoming the bank. The very first step, because we're becoming the bank, y'all. And just think about that. Just think about it. You're becoming the bank. And people are like, what? How can you even do that? Man, I create debt. Yeah? And I got receipts on my IG. The receipts are there now. The actual ones. All right, we're creating debt. But the first thing is a new reality. It's a shift in mindset and awareness. So anytime you're starting something new, you got to have that shift in awareness, because it's something new. So you got to be aware. But the shift in mindset, what we do in step 1 with my students, because I did this, I never preach from a soapbox. I preach from things that have helped me, things that I have been through, right? So I just know that it works. We do a wealth statement. Right. And I didn't create this now. I just fixed it up so that it went into what we're doing. Napoleon Hill, man, Think and Grow Rich. One of my top 3 books, the Bible, Think and Grow Rich, and then The Undefeated Mind. Those are my top 3 books. Well, Napoleon Hill has this thing where a statement where you say how much you want, right? How much you want and by when. Mine was $1 million by 2025. And this was a few years ago, guys. And I went from a negative net worth, till I got my first house last April, man. I'm not a millionaire. I'm, got a net worth about 780,000 and climbing pretty fast. But you say how much you want, you say when, but then what service are you going to give? What are you going to do, to get that money? Because it's not just going to say, because you say you want it, it comes. So I have my students do that. And you don't have to even say anything specific. Mine was, I'm going to be a real estate investor that helps solve problems for people that have problems in real estate. And I'm going to bring them the most value that I possibly can, the most efficient and effective service that I possibly can. That was it. That was my initial plan. And then when I say it to myself at nighttime out loud so I can kind of hear it, and then in the mornings out loud so I can kind of hear it. But I feel myself. How would it feel to deposit a big old check, man, in the bank? I don't know yet, but I'm like, how would I feel? How would I think I felt? And I would feel it, emotionalize it, like feel it. And then I would visualize it. What would it look like, man, shaking hands with a person in the living room, closing a transaction, right? And I would feel that. So what it does is this, though. It builds up, when you do that, it builds up resilience to the outside things that come in, man, that outside noise, because it's going to come. The people around you, right? The people that you have told your goal, because when we tell a person our goal, man, we want them to encourage us. That's why we're telling them our goal. That's all. I mean, you tell a person your goal because you want them to say you can do it. Well, a lot of times they say, well, is this another one of your ideas? Or don't you got a pretty good paycheck now? Why would you stop getting that paycheck? That's what they do. So we've got to protect against this, because it will begin to seep into us and make our own thoughts toxic. So by doing that wealth statement, man, you build up resilience. Resilience is like a gas tank. And then you have tunnel vision. So when you're doing the boring stuff, because the boring stuff is what will make you rich. I'm talking about wealthy, because I do this at a high level, man. I just do. Like we buy houses in trust, create a trust for all our houses, man. Each individual house. I got a letter right here, man. Came the other day. I was about to throw this thing in the garbage. I don't know if y'all can see this, right? But that is to my empty investment property, right? And it's addressed to the 3008 Cornelia Living Revocable. That's my trust. They didn't have room for trust. 3008 Cornelia Living Revocable Trust.
That ain't for me, is it, Gene? Let me see it
Yeah,
again.
you trying to get you like, man, that might be. I'm putting them things out, right? But we do it at a high level, man, and being able to have that resilience. And when we're in the minutia of the boring stuff, reading, researching, learning the rules that we can play by. Instead of like, man, I don't feel like doing all this reading right now. No, you feel completely different when you do that wealth statement. When you're reading and doing the research, when you come across that breadcrumb that kind of turn that light on to that problem, you was like, man, how am I going to do this part? How do I get past this part? And you research and you read and you find it, man. It's right there. It's like a treasure hunt. I love it. I do, man.
But you know, I want to add on to that real quick because I'm a witness as far as reading. Like I speak about my testimony all the time. I hate reading. I really do. I hate reading because I didn't grow up the best as far as in the educational system with in the right environment of the way I grew up. And you know, and I want to encourage somebody that because when I took my real estate test, you know, everybody that knows real estate tests is nothing but reading. You go to classes, you got to read. You take the test, you got to read, and not just for small amounts of time, but long periods of hours. And you know, you said something very important that you know, like for real, just showing it up, reading can save your life in this business. And that's why I know a lot of folks have messed up about. You know, I'm gonna skim through this. No, I have a mindset to read things 5 times before I fully understand it. You know, and that's just being real. You know, if I feel like I have a question about something, I put a question mark next to it. I come back to it later. Let me read the rest of it. So, you know, anybody out there that wants to get in this business, no matter if it's from my point of view or from the investor, especially from the investor, because you got more possible attacks coming your way than I do, because you know, investor, you're on your own. You know, most of the time you're doing the deal. I have a broker, I got a team, I got, you know, coverage, I got lawyers. You know, not saying you can't have your lawyers or whatever, but you are really, your future is truly in your hands when it comes to looking at certain things and deals, and that you really got to pray to God to be like, God, give me the strength and the wisdom to know that I'm doing what I'm supposed to be doing to protect myself. So I just had to spit that in there real quick.
Yeah. And I'm gonna let Johnny say, you know, give us that game, them gems. But y'all, I graduated 3rd from last in my high school class. 3rd from last. And the only reason really I graduated because I could play basketball. So they wanted me on the basketball court. So I went from 3rd to last, man, to now to, you know, the top 1% of income earners. So everybody was saying, man, you can't teach nobody. You can't buy no houses. You can't have a seminar, you know, and teach people. So anybody can do this, man. Anybody.
Weird, brother Johnny.
Facts. No, man. You know what? I think that's the thing is really the goal setting. I do vision boards and just kind of lay out, you know, with the pictures, you know, the things that I'm looking to do. I have like the morning affirmations where I have kind of my guide with, you know, the person that I want to be, and a lot of those affirmations in there, and then kind of some of the philosophies and proverbs that I live by, kind of just document where I just kind of read through and kind of consume that on a daily basis. But, you know, the biggest things with goals is, you know, with me is like, I got to have goals that stretch me, you know, and kind of going forward and, you know, and just kind of building upon, you know, what we did last year. And like for this year, you know, like my goal is like, hey, I want to do 10 properties in Panama City, my primary market, but I want to do 20 joint ventures with other individuals, you know, whether they're my mentees in my program or other real estate investors, where just doing 20 other deals by helping other people learn how to do real estate investing. You know, I'm going to continue to grow myself by teaching people, then by being able to be exposed to other markets. And, you know, of course, with that is going to come other opportunities. Because we're in the game, we're in these cities, we're networking, we're talking to people, we're building relationships in all these different markets. And now, you know, nothing but good things are going to happen from that, because that's the expectation. And that's what I'm attracting in my life and the wavelength that I'm putting out here in the universe. And, you know, and that's the thing that you got to do, whereas that you got to set goals that, you know, your goals should scare you. it should scare you where it's like, wow, this is big. This is big. I got to lean on a little bit of the faith because I don't even know how all this is gonna happen, how it's gonna come together. But you gotta live on purpose and break it down to, hey, I need to be closing at least 2 deals a month to hit this number. And then understanding now, like, okay, we need to be closing a deal every 2 weeks. All right, what I need to do to close a deal? I need to call 500 people a week. I need to send out 1,000 postcards. I need to go to call every person in pre-foreclosure. I need to go put out 100 bandit signs on this side of town where I'm trying to buy, and just go through and break the goal down into small tasks that you can take with you each day, each week that you need to be doing so you can continue to get through there. And then at the end of the year, because I tell people, how you eat an elephant, you start with the first bite. And you just gotta get after it. But if you don't know where you're going, then it's gonna be hard to end up at 30 houses at the end of the year if you don't know how many houses you need to buy the first week. And so kind of just going through that mindset and just breaking it down.
You know, when we first met, you never told me you was, a philosopher. Philosopher. I was, I'm okay, but I'm gonna keep going.
Hey, I called Johnny. I said, Johnny's, man, the real estate philosopher, man.
but I got a
question. But that's the thing. So I'm a PK. So I grew up in the church. My dad was a pastor. So those cliches and spinning, bringing it all together, man.
I understand. So I got a question from the crowd. It says it's going back to a previous statement that we made in the past. It says, how does a new investor build their network? So if you can give that viewer that answer of how someone new in the game can build their network. They don't know where to go, how to start, or who to talk to, or the type of team to actually build. We can actually make it into another whole question. How do you build your team as well?
Ooh, boy, Darian threw it at us, right? Everything with
and I know we're reaching our hour, y'all, but we're gonna stay on just a little bit longer because I feel like these brothers they dropping a lot of knowledge on us, so stick with us.
Yeah, and I'm about to give y'all something too right now, man, that y'all can use today, man. Because everybody like, man, all this mindset stuff. I want to know the game, right? Well, one, I suggest that you start, man, with an LLC if you can, right? If you can't, then get out there and swing that bat. But here's how you do it the easy way. Just get into Google. Now, my favorite website, if you don't know the answer, man, just try to research it first. But just put in SOS, okay, SOS, and then hit space, and then the 2-letter abbreviation of your state, and hit enter. That's all you got to do, and the breadcrumbs are there. Your Secretary of State's website will come up, and it'll say, man, right there, what business creation or register a business. It's different by state, but that's how you do it without having to spend $1,000, $1,500. It costs you, I know in Texas it's $300 to do it yourself. Up here it's $55. So there's that, okay. And then if you're a beginning wholesaler, please don't get on Zillow and start making offers to houses that are listed by realtors or even for sale by owner, because you're going to get it under contract for too much money, and then you won't be able to sell it. Okay, so I don't even, so I just had to get these, couple little gems so that people could walk away with something, right, that they can use. But as a beginning investor, how you establish that network is, I would say this: know how to find a deal. If you don't have any money, right, you don't have any connections, you don't got nothing, but you're just a go-getter. Right. And I didn't make that name up. Now, it was bestowed. OK, so we got to get that right. It was bestowed because I'm going to make this happen. There is no other alternative but for it to happen. So if you know how to find a good deal, and you bring a person a deal, man, you're twisting their arm to make them talk to you. I don't care if they don't like you or whatever. If you come with a good deal, they're going to say, what's up to you at least, right? So if you can identify a good deal, and most good deals are off-market deals. And the best part about that is this: everybody has access to those, man. Everybody, because a lot of them are public record. So you can get to it before most of the people that are going and buying lists, right, are paying a certain, website or whatever to get them this information. We can go directly to it. The first place, I'm gonna give y'all some gems, man, because Darian, boy, he got something valuable in Darian now, because he's bringing people on here and he knows what he knows. So I'm gonna give y'all these gems.
Hey, I'm learning too. Don't get me twisted.
So you want to pick a motivation, y'all. a motivation. You can't be a person who's trying to get into real estate investing and you don't have any money and you're getting on Zillow or calling people whose houses are already for sale and asking them, do you want to sell your home? Well, yeah, it's on Zillow. Of course I do. So just like the 78 people that call me, today and ask me that same question, I'll pick your name out of a hat maybe, right? So you're dependent on luck, right? But if you pick a motivation, pre-foreclosure, foreclosure, these people about to lose their house. They can try to keep it or something, but something's got to give. A divorce, man. There used to be a 2-income household. Now somebody's leaving, somebody's keeping the house, bills stay the same. Income went down. Probate, a vacant house, things like you pick a motivation. So this way we know that there's a problem for us to solve because I don't have any money. So all I can do is try to solve a problem. I can't go out there and offer money. So find a deal and your network will begin to form around you. That's my advice.
Okay. Brother Johnny.
Yeah. I think with me, I had to lean with my bottle. I had to lean on my team a lot, especially being virtual and not in the same market. But for like with me with the fix and flips, the contractors are a big component of your success. So I'll tell people, when you go look for contractors, you want to go to Home Depot at Lowe's. Don't go at 10 o'clock in the morning. Go at 6 o'clock in the morning to see who's buying their supplies first thing in the morning because they got to go to work and be somewhere. You want to talk with those guys, get their card, get their information.
I need a bell in here. I need ding, 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 ding.
Man, Johnny, boy,
man, that's the thing. You gotta be resourceful. You gotta, if you're not there, you gotta lean on your resources and do it. But like with that, on the other side of it, with asking other investors, always get referrals from people that's done good work for other investors is a great way to get quality people, quality contractors. And sometimes, things just happen. I had a great contractor, did a great job. He got stiffed on the job and his crew left him. And then him and his wife were in there trying to finish my house. And we're jacking it up. We're taking too long and we're doing in the quality of the work suffer. So it's some trial and errors with it. But that's on the contractor side to find a good real estate agent, talk to other real estate investors who they work with, look on the MLS, see who's got a lot of listings, see if they got flip properties, find out what agents are the ones that's listing the flip properties. Oh, by the way, they probably know the best title companies that work with investors. They know the best contractors that's been doing the work at the houses. And, and so just by networking and doing that, that'll get you a long way. But on the investor front, I think, looking for local real estate investor association, the RIAs. A lot of them meet up virtually now with COVID. So you can join, meetups all across the U.S., just virtual on Zoom or wherever it may be. But look for your local real estate investor meetup and then look for local Facebook groups, for real estate investors. And then just getting in there.
Oh, no.
Johnny froze up.
No. See.
You froze up, Johnny.
Say the last bit. I'll keep it fresh.
Yeah. I think, just reaching out on Facebook and some of those networking groups out there for investors. And then that way, you just start just learning and asking questions, just seeing who's the mover and shakers in your area and reach out to them and get to know them.
Awesome. That's awesome.
Mm-hmm.
And y'all really dropping some heavy things tonight. All right, so I ain't gonna keep y'all too much longer, but I just got to get these questions out the way because they came for some questions and some answers, and I'm gonna give it to them.
Absolutely.
I'm a character, but all right. So you actually, one of you guys, I think it was you, Johnny, that talked about the MLS. Now we as realtors know that we have our own MLS that we're a part of. That you have to be a part of a brokerage to to maintain. Now, there are some folks that ask me, and the only reason I'm asking you guys is I don't know. I never looked it up. And what sources of MLSs or MLS are out there for those that are actually looking? Because we're telling them not to use it, or we're telling them not to use Realtor. We're telling them not to look at websites that already are for sale. So how are they now supposed to do their daily search? How are they supposed to see what is available? I don't like to leave the bucket with holes in it. I want to make sure that they get all the water they can get and then call y'all to get some more.
Yeah, for sure, man, for sure. I'd love to take that, man, because I remember Johnny's like, man, you where you was finding houses, you sparked something up in me, man. So, so guys, knowing the rules, one is what we'll do it, right? Knowing the rules that we can play by, and then two, being creative, right? So the way that I got started, man, was I was, researching and stuff and doing my research, but I was also out there hunting, and I just knew naturally that, there has to be a problem. So foreclosures, man, foreclosures. And then I've always heard about these auctions. I'm like, I've always heard about them, but where in the hell are they? Now, excuse my language. I do curse a lot too, y'all. I'm just keeping it, PG, but I've always heard about these things, right? It's almost like a myth. Like it's just behind the curtain and I have no idea how to get back there. But I finally understood that there is a curtain, like they are doing these things. So that means I can get access, man. It's there. I just have to find it, man. I have to, because it can be found. That's the whole thing. If it can be found and it can be done, that means that we can find it and we can do it. So, man, I tracked down these foreclosures and I just reverse engineered it. That's what I did. I just reverse engineered it, right? So for a sheriff's auction happens, man, and at an auction, you get the property for below market value. You get it for way below market value a lot of times. So I just said, all right, so once it's auctioned and there's a winning bid, well, what happened before that? Before it got to auction to get bid on. And then what happened before that? And then what happened before that? All the way to the point of where the person missed that first payment. I'm tracking every step back to that. So now I know how to get access to these things when the bank finally says, okay, we got to file for foreclosure on you, this court proceeding. And then I found out the rules behind it. I know that foreclosures, if a bank forecloses on you, they have to publish this foreclosure at least 4 times in a local publication. It's the law. These are their rules, y'all. They have to. So that means we have access to it because it's a local publication. That's where my student that's in Memphis, that's only 19, man, got his first, transaction, was in the legal section of his local paper. I can't preach that enough. I can't preach it enough. Your legal section of your local paper. If you don't have money, if you can't pay for a subscription to any websites, man, your newspaper a lot of times is free on the internet. Just your legal section. That's it. And then find out what do foreclosures look like in that particular legal section. Okay. So I'll tell you this. This is a tip, man, because I don't know what they look like in every newspaper around the country, but I do know how they start. Every single one. The bank, whatever. I mean, Wells Fargo, Chase Manhattan versus Gene Boykin, right? It's going to say a person's name. That's it, because it's a court proceeding. So then when you see a big bank name versus a person, well, we have to surmise that this is a foreclosure then, because what does a big bank want with Gene Boykin, right? And then we just reverse engineer it from there. Now I'm reading that closer. And then that's what I did. I started reading it closer. And then I saw that, like, okay, it says the judgment amount is $64,000. Okay, well, I know this address because I live here, so I kind of know the area, right? I mean, you should kind of. So I know this address, and I know there ain't no houses for $64,000 in this neighborhood. These things is, 180, 200,000. So I'm like, man, if it's only 64,000, we can work with that. So I ended up going to a sheriff's auction where there was a deal like that, man. It was sweet. Well, they bid the thing up. It started at 21,000. They bid it all the way up to 98,000. House was worth 130. I was just there for the education. I couldn't bid. I said, there's got to be a better way. I'm gonna go talk to these people before it gets to our auction. I'm gonna talk to the owner, because I can't compete with these people talking about some, 90, 95, they raising their hand. I'm sitting there with my hands behind my back because I better not even lift a finger. You know what I mean? I can't even. So I just figured out, man, how can I get to it before these people that have money, because I don't have money. So I can go talk to these people though. And then when I found out I could take over that debt, so now that $20,000 judgment amount, right, where they started the bid at, man, I'm just taking over that 20,000. I'm just taking over that 20,000, and I don't even have to pay that. I just got to catch up their payments that they're behind. That's it. Catch up them payments, and then I'm just taking over that debt from them, that mortgage. Now I own a house. I have a mortgage that I didn't have to apply for. I just have to continue to make those payments, and I don't have the money to make the payments, but guess what? My buyer does. My buyer has the money to make the payments. So this is what I'm going to do. since this mortgage that I took over is only $20,000, but the house is worth $120, well, I'm going to sell it to him at a discount for $80. He'll buy it, and guess what? I want to make some monthly cash flow on it. So Mr. Buyer, instead of giving me the whole $80, since I took over this debt, instead of giving me the whole $80, because I just got to make payments on this debt, so I don't have to pay it off right now. So you don't have to pay me the whole $80 right now. Just go ahead and give me $20 down. $20,000 down. And if y'all think I sound crazy, check out my IG. It's $20,000 checks on there. It's $30,000 checks on there. You name it, man. Get that down payment from them. So now they like you because they didn't have to go get the whole 80. They just gave you 20 down. Boom. Now you're making them payments. You're putting some money in your pocket. You charge them a monthly payment that covers your mortgage payment. So they pay you a monthly payment, and that monthly payment that they pay you, it covers that mortgage payment that you're responsible for. And we just charge them a little bit more than what the mortgage payment is. And the mortgage payment is always lower than what the market rent is, always. So I'm cash flowing $300 a month minimum on these houses. And I'm not even a landlord, y'all. I don't fix clogged toilets or leaky faucets, none of that. I just collect the money every 28th too. I don't even get paid on the first. I need mine on the 28th. But get creative. That's what I did, man. It's there, public knowledge. But I got to say this real quick, guys. I use a software called PropStream. It's a real estate investing software that gives you access to public records and to the MLS, what the realtors use all over the country, though. And they give you a 7-day free trial. So that's what I wanted to use, a 7-day free trial. I was going to cancel, get the 10,000 leads and cancel. I have it 2 years later. Well, guys, right now, if you sign up for PropStream between now and next Friday using a link I'll give to Darian, I'm able to give 2 people PropStream for a year for free. And PropStream is amazing.
See,
amazing.
You out here blessing people now. They about to start blowing it up. They attacking my phone now, man. You just
ring.
But Brother Johnny, go ahead, Brother Johnny. What's your intake on that?
Yeah, no, I think when we start talking about the deal flow, we're looking at MLS. PropStream is a great source that I use in the business. We're being able to pull comps. I think Realtor.com has the best accurate. When you start looking at the accurate data, it's quality with Realtor.com. But I'll tell you, I got like 5 deals last year off Zillow. Whereas, just my strategy with what I do, the first thing when I get out of bed, I look at Zillow, what's hit in the last 12 hours. And I call the listing agent. And by looking at the pictures, I ask the listing agent the right questions about the deal, how they're reviewing offers. Are they going the highest and best? What's the story behind the house? Are they motivated? And I'll put an offer in right there over the phone. And then I text them my details. And so that strategy worked quite a bit with us because the realtor, the incentive with them is now they get both sides of the commission because I'll allow them to represent me and they're already representing the seller. And so it's amazing.
I know that realtor love that.
Yeah. So you get a lot of information from the realtor because they want to see you win because their success is tied to you now. And so by coming in with that proposition from the go, all the other deals come in. I ain't saying name, but I just had realtors tell me where they really, really think if I came in at a number that they were pretty much sure that we would get the deal done. Because they know they reviewing offers and I'm like, okay, I wasn't really asking that, but sure, I'll put an offer into that number. Let's go. And so that's a strategy that I use. But definitely, there's some stuff on Zillow. And the thing with like some of the teardrops, I get emails from realtors that I see stuff on Zillow before their alerts updates and email me. So before they even send me something in their email alert they have programmed, I'm already seeing it on Zillow and already talking directly to the agent. So, that's a strategy that you can use. But, Realtor.com, PropStream, and there's some other ones. And then you got other systems out there like Reonomy and Crexy that you can use on the commercial side too to just find deals.
Mm-hmm. Can I contrast that just real quick? This is the crazy part because Johnny said he calls them like 12 hours into Zillow. If I get on Zillow, I won't call a property unless it's been on there for 60 days or more and have success. So this just shows, right, the contrast. Johnny's doing something opposite from what I'm doing and having success at it, but he is figuring out how he can creatively solve that problem, just like I am with the 60 days plus, guys. So solve it.
That's what this whole show about, the mindset. All right, I ain't gonna hold y'all up no more. I actually had two more questions because this person asked, and I gotta be respectful.
I'm cool with it.
They just put wholesalers ? So brother Caleb, I see you out there. I guess I'll form a question around that. Have you got what? Matter of fact, for those that don't know, what is wholesaling? What is wholesaling? What is your definition of wholesaling, and how does that work for you?
I gotta take this, man, Johnny. I hate that. I've been going first every time. I feel kind of rude, man. My apologies.
He drinking water. He good.
I already know. But because I had two wholesalers, two aspiring wholesalers that paid $10,000 for a mentorship in wholesaling and have gotten 6 deals canceled, man, throughout that mentorship. So wholesaling is when you go out and make an offer on a property that you got to get it lower than market value, right? The equation is 70% market value minus the repairs. That's your offer, right? So that's what wholesaling is. You go out, you get it under contract, and then you get it under contract and you go out and you shop it around to try to find a buyer for that contract, they say, but they're really buying the house. So, potato, but you're selling it at a higher price. So you're kind of the meat in that sandwich, holding it together. Okay. But let me say this, because I talked to these 2 ladies yesterday, and I'm going to get them in the GoGetter family, man, just because they are go-getters, because they were on that phone with me after spending $10,000 and getting just a terrible mentorship, man. And it really works my nerves, y'all. So if you guys are going to pay somebody to teach you, please make sure that they send y'all a proof folder, okay? A proof folder of what they have done. And then also some social proof of testimonials of people that they have helped achieve the goals that you want to achieve before you give them money. Okay, please do that, y'all, because it really just, man, crushed me to hear these ladies. But as a wholesaler, if you want to get into wholesaling, off-market deals. That's what you got to do, because you've got to get this property at a lower price than you can sell it for. That's just the basics of wholesaling. Got to get it at a lower price than what you can turn around and sell it for. All right. So the off market, don't get on Zillow going through a realtor and trying to wholesale a realtor's deal, because a realtor, they sign up with a realtor, Darian, right? Because they want to get retail market value. You got to think.
Not to mention the fees that come along with that.
Right. Yeah, so we got to think. We can't wholesale like that,
So, Brother Johnny, your intake on that?
Yeah, the wholesalers, you're the middleman in the transaction. You got to be great at marketing to find deals, and you mark up the deals and leave enough meat on the bone for investors to still be profitable and make money. And so I think the biggest thing is that, just being able to be great at marketing to get deals, and then that way and just hand them off to investors, and be able to mark up your fee in the middle of the deal. And I think that's the thing that goes into, being great at negotiation and then deal finding. And then from there, you're just the middleman, the broker in between to kind of bring the investor to the motivated seller and get them together at the title company or the attorney's office at the table. And you get a assignment fee from $1,000 to 6 figures, just depending on you moving into some commercial deals and wholesale commercial deals that you can have some 6-figure paydays just for finding a deal and just moving into investor. And that's without having to bringing any money to the table. And so I think that's the big thing with just wholesaling and wholesalers. But I think on the fix and flip side, that's a source that you need to work with as you kind of grow your business and network with, is people that's finding deals, because you got to have deals. And if you can control the deals, then you're going to be in a good position, whether you want to sell it, you want to keep it, or whatever, you can control it. And I think a lot of wholesalers, they lack creativity, because they could do a lot more by owning that deal, with leveling up their real estate game, with partnering with investors, with, having investors hold their hands just because they got the deal and they can give it to anybody, but they chose to give it to them. They got the leverage, but they don't know how to use the leverage. And I think that's one of the things. Wholesaling is a great mechanism to level up in real estate with no experience and no money, that if you can wholesale and find deals, that you can do some damage with the right mindset.
Man, bring value. Yeah, they bring in value, man. That's how that network builds around you. Johnny hit it on the head.
Well, I ain't gonna mess with y'all no more.
But
I will say this. I know you both are coaches, teachers, and y'all work with folks all the time. I want to give this opportunity to both explain the programs that you guys offer to the folks. How long the program is, if they are to enter, what do they, expect out of the program? Because I'm all about supporting you guys too, because y'all supported me by being on the show. And I want people to reach out to y'all and work, because y'all work all over the country. No matter where someone is, you can reach out to them, you talk to them, you help them get the deals that they want. And guys, I wouldn't bring, y'all know me, those that's watching, I wouldn't bring nobody on here that I didn't feel that was fit. So brother Jay, you've been going first the whole time. Yeah, I went there. I said, but tell us about, the GoGetter family, what they are to expect if they were to join today, and how long will it, your program is, and what, pretty much the work they got to put in.
Yeah. Well, and this is what I do. I teach real estate investors to increase their number of investment properties by 2 times, or get their first property in up to 90 days. And that is all without needing a lump sum of money out of your own pocket, or having to borrow money from a bank to get this property, or to double your portfolio as an experienced real estate investor. That's what I do, with the GoGetter family. And, we've got the 7 steps to becoming the bank. 7 steps to becoming the bank with the GoGetter family. But what the thing is, man, is it's called the GoGetter family. So it's a network, of people that have the same goal. They want to get to the same destination, man. So we support each other. We have a private Facebook group where, you get on there, answer questions, give a tip, give some advice, give some mindset stuff. It's just a community. So we uplift each other, right? Because, if you become a member of the GoGetter family and you get my one-on-one mentorship, I'm going to get you there in up to 90 days. But your success is now my responsibility, because you have paid me, personally, and it ain't cheap. I'm not even gonna lie to you. It ain't cheap. Yeah, you buying houses for free. It better not be cheap. But what I'm saying is your success is my responsibility. And I only have the same amount of time as everybody else. So I don't even take everybody just because they got money, man, because the GoGetter family, I tell everybody this: if you covet money, if money is your end all be all, and you just got to have it, your GoGetter family is not the right place for you. It just isn't. Because one, my acquisitions company is called We Buy Houses and Help People, WeBuyAndHelp.com, right? Because we are paid in direct proportion to the value that we bring and the service that we get, and the side effect of that is money and beneficial to others. So that's what we do, man. That's what the GoGetter family does. And we do that for each other, So I've got group coaching, one-on-one mentorship, but then I also, because I don't want to block people out, man. I don't want, I teach you to buy free houses, so it's super expensive, so only a few people can do it. No, I've got a $97 course, man, on my website, thegogetterfamily.com. It's called Buying Free Foreclosures. I give you all the game you need in there to find a foreclosure, to find it before everybody else, to buy it by taking over the debt, by becoming the bank. No credit checks, not needing a lump sum of money, $97. And I got a Subjectto masterclass, man. That's a little more expensive. But if you want to get entry, get in the game, $97. But to be a GoGetter family member, you got to show that you're a go-getter. You can't just tell me. That's the whole thing now. You can't just tell me. So that's what I got for the people. Just reach out through Instagram, check us out, TikTok. And then if you feeling it and we feeling each other, then you part of the family. No?
That's what's up. And for those that want to know his information, that's his information up there. The GoGetterFamily.com. You got Instagram, GoGetter Family, TikTok. He's been hot on TikTok. but yeah, I can reach out to him. So Brother Johnny, your program, sir.
Yeah, so I got an 8-week coaching program where just kind of walking people. I put my business in a box and kind of break it down over an 8-week period and kind of walk through, everything from the beginning of the deal with being able to find off-market properties, with its pre-foreclosure, vacant houses, tired landlords, pre-foreclosure, said that one, with probate, absentee owner, people that have high equity, just across the board. We're being able to find these deals, and then from there, take them down to where's that. If you want to wholesale, teach you how to build a buyer's list with that piece. But if you want to really dig in and learn how to fix and flip, you want to learn how to project renovation cost and build a team, whereas that you can build up a business over time, and whether on the back end decide if you want to refinance it and keep it in your portfolio, or if you want to sell it retail and flip it and then take that profit and maybe roll into apartment investing. Those are kind of the strategies that I kind of teach, from the front end with the marketing to find deals through single family build up of a portfolio over time, and then apartment investing too over the 8 weeks. And it's video led, and then I jump in once a week and give direct implementation advice, Q&A on a weekly basis that we do via Zoom to help people go. And then we have a private Facebook group where we interact on a daily basis, where you can submit deals. I partner with my students on deals. I got one, and I just launched this beginning of January. On day 10, my student got his first house under contract in Birmingham, and we closed it less than 7 days later. I brought the money to the deal. We're going to walk away with probably between 55, 60,000 in a matter of about 4 months. And we're going to split it 50-50. He didn't bring a dime to the table. He just brought the deal, executed what I told him, relationship, got it from a wholesaler. And, we took the deal down. So, so that's the type of stuff that we're doing through the 8-week program. And, they can follow me on Instagram, The Military CEO. And then I did put something together for your crew. Just send them the website, socialproofwealth.com/free. And then I'm going to give them a free copy of my book, get the PDF of my new book that just came out so they can download that.
I might have to make up a fake name and get that book.
I already bought it. I bought it. Yeah.
Oh, that's great, man. I appreciate both of you guys. And also, because I serve a special community of those that may have a stronger they have a weakness as far as learning the business because of their learning abilities. Are you guys programs based off of those that are they're smart, but they learn differently. They want to be more hands-on. They want to be able to, get that extra attention. Do you guys, work with that type of population?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I mean, I definitely do. Mine is kind of similar to Johnny's in that you get, there's documents, so you got to read, right? But there's also, I make video presentations for those documents, right? So if you're not that great at reading, man, you might be dyslexic. I think my son might be. I don't know, So what though? You can still Max Maxwell's dyslexic, man, and that man is the man. So there are people that learn differently. So yes, I make the video presentations that go over the documents, and then we have a one-on-one. If you're one-on-one, get that hour a week just with me directly, and then in a group coaching, we get an hour, each week. I got to go on at 9 Central, 32 minutes with the group. Right, for Q&A, but we have goals, man. I've got a success manager, right? Success manager where we set goals. So if you need to learn differently, all you got to do is say the word, "Hey, Gene, man, I kind of need, a little bit of this. Can we do that?" That's what it's about, because your success is my responsibility. So yeah, we're gonna get you there,
Brother Johnny.
Yeah, no, I think the biggest thing is just really being able to meet people wherever they are at. Whereas that, I think that's the thing with having it because a lot of people, they had just courses where you just go through self-paced, go by yourself, and that's it. You don't have a person behind it that can actually help you implement it and kind of take into account where you are in your life journey. And so I think that's the biggest thing, that whereas like you having that, that touch point, whereas that you can meet and answer questions specifically about the content. But then like what Gene was saying, I think that's a great idea where you have the actual video tutorial of how to break down the actual documents themselves, whereas that people can kind of go through it and comprehend what it is that they're looking at and how they can apply it to the curriculum and, in the right situation to use the right paperwork. So, yeah, I think that's the biggest thing with all this. And that's, I think, that what separates what we do from a lot of other courses that just kind of stand alone, you go through self-paced, is that we're actually putting in time to actually ensure that people are successful. If they're willing to come up, show up to the table to put in the work, then we're going to do everything in our power to make sure that they're successful.
Awesome. Well, brothers, this is the first time I ever went way over ever. But I learned a lot. I know my folks out there learned a lot. I'm so thankful that you guys were able to come and just drop your knowledge. We might have to have another one soon, part 2 somewhere. I got a lot of part 2s in these past couple shows, but it is what it is. When you heavy with knowledge, you can't rush it. You gotta walk through it, and that's why I always tell folks, come on here, ask your questions, get to know the folks, and then reach out to them on your own, because you guys, I let people know the people I bring on here are open to conversation, and they definitely want to help them. You know, y'all want to help them. You know, and that's why I always try to push. So I thank you, Brother Johnny. I thank you, Brother Gene. I thank you guys that's watching, and we're going to be doing this again on the third week on Wednesday at 8. I'm bringing my broker on. So that's gonna be some heavy information, and I'm sure you're gonna look at this too. So I know he might hit y'all up. I don't know, but
I love talking to realtors. You know, I think every realtor should be an investor, but that's a story for another day.
Yeah, I agree.
Hey, look, that's why we talking now. But but I thank you again, and I definitely hope my folks take the advantage, just reach out to you guys, and I'll share the link that y'all send, and make sure they know how to find you guys. Okay, so
Right.
so those that are watching, y'all already know what's about to come up next, and don't forget to share, like, and make this go viral to anybody who needs some coaching, some understanding of real estate investing, because we're trying to feed our people. We're tired of seeing people starve. We gotta really invest in our people to invest out here. So let's get to work, and I'll see y'all again next time. Peace.